Let's cut the crap. If you sleep with your mouth open, you're basically slow cooking your brain overnight. Not exactly the bedtime story you were hoping for, huh? But here we are. See, mouth breathing looks harmless. It sounds harmless. Heck, it even feels harmless. Until it doesn't. Because behind that innocent snore is a demolition crew wrecking your sleep, your face, and your lifespan. We're talking crooked teeth, recessed jaws, ADHD-like brain fog, high blood pressure, diabetes risk, anxiety, and yes, it can literally change how you look in the mirror. Don't take my word for it. Author James Nestor volunteered to be a human guinea pig at Stanford. 10 days of forced mouth breathing, and boom, instant snoring, brain fog, blood pressure spikes, oxygen crashes. 10 days. Imagine what 10 years does. And don't tell me you've never caught yourself mid-snore, sounding like Darth Vader on discount mode, or woken up with a mouth so dry it felt like sandpaper had moved in. Classic mouth breather move. Here's the truth. Your nose isn't just a hole above your mouth. It's a 5-star VIP lounge. Filters, humidifies, supercharges oxygen with nitric oxide. Breathing through your mouth skips all of that and dumps unfiltered, dry, pathogen-loaded air straight into your lungs. That's not breathing. That's biohacking for failure. Stick around, cutie, because by the end of this video, I'm handing you the dirt-cheap hack Olympic athletes use to supercharge oxygen and fix this mess. Spoiler, it's tape. Yep, tape. Don't roll your eyes. You'll never look at breathing the same way again. Here's the thing nobody told you in health class. Your nose isn't just face decoration. It's the Swiss Army knife of breathing. Filters dust and germs with tiny hairs, humidifies the air, warms it, and, the kicker, pumps out nitric oxide, a molecule that boosts blood flow, oxygen delivery, and immune defense. It's basically free performance-enhancing gas. Now, your mouth, it's a loading dock. Air comes in raw, dry, unfiltered, and with zero nitric oxide. That's like fueling a Ferrari with swamp water. And guess what? Studies suggest mouth breathing drops your blood oxygen, raises your heart rate, and dehydrates you 40% faster. Translation, you're snoring, your blood pressure's climbing, and your lungs are throwing hands in the dark. Why do people do it? Sometimes it's allergies, a deviated septum, alcohol before bed, or just plain habit. But the longer you breathe through your mouth, the more your body forgets how to use your nose. It's a vicious cycle. Mouth gets drier, nose gets weaker, mouth takes over even more. Congratulations, you've trained yourself into being your own sleep saboteur. And don't tell me you've never woken up desperate for water, mouth glued shut like cheap Velcro. Or worse, your partner leans over like, "Babe, I love you," but you sound like a busted leaf blower at 3 a.m. Here's the point. Every night you mouth breathe, you're skipping nature's built-in filtration system. It's not just ugly snoring, it's a full-body downgrade. And if you think the damage stops with dry mornings and bad breath, hang tight. Because mouth breathing doesn't just trash your health, it literally reshapes your face. Alright, buckle up, because this is where mouth breathing stops being cute snoring quirk and turns into straight-up facial sabotage. Chronic mouth breathing doesn't just dry your lips, it rewires the scaffolding of your skull. Start young, and the effects are brutal. Narrow jaws, crooked teeth, recessed chins, that long, droopy, adenoid face orthodontists talk about. And no, that's not me being mean, that's literally the medical term. Kids who grow up breathing through their mouths often end up with smaller airways, weaker chins, and faces that look tired even after 10 hours of sleep. Why? Because when you breathe through your mouth, your tongue drops. Normally, your tongue rests against the roof of your mouth, a natural retainer shaping your upper jaw wide and strong. But if it hangs low in your mouth night after night, your jaw narrows, your teeth crowd, and your profile starts to cave in. It's like building a skyscraper with the scaffolding set wrong. The whole structure warps. And before you think this is just a kid problem, think again. Adults aren't immune. Chronic mouth breathers often develop sagging skin, weak jawlines, and premature aging. Your face literally starts folding in on itself. Confession time. Ever looked at old photos and thought, why do I look more tired at 25 than I did at 15? Yeah, your breathing habits may have RSVP'd to that party. But don't worry, vanity isn't the worst of it. Because the real nightmare isn't in your jawline or your teeth. It's in your brain. And mouth breathing is already pulling the plug. If wrecking your jawline wasn't enough, here's where mouth breathing really earns its silent assassin badge. It hijacks your brain and body like a drunk Uber driver. Every time you breathe through your mouth at night, oxygen levels in your blood dip. Your body panics, cortisol spikes, heart rate jumps. Instead of deep restorative sleep, you're riding a roller coaster of micro-awakenings. Translation: your brain is buffering all night like hotel Wi-Fi, spinning wheel, no download. That's why studies suggest mouth breathing is tied to ADHD-like symptoms in kids, anxiety in adults, poor concentration, and straight-up exhaustion. Imagine dragging yourself out of bed after 9 hours and feeling worse than if you pulled an all-nighter. Sound familiar? Yeah, that's your brain on mouth breathing. And it doesn't stop there. Chronic oxygen dips strain your heart, pushing up blood pressure, raising your risk of heart attacks and strokes. It also messes with blood sugar regulation, linking mouth breathing to insulin resistance and even type 2 diabetes. Not to mention dehydration. You lose up to 40% more water breathing through your mouth. No wonder you wake up parched, tasting like you swallowed a desert. Ever been told you snore so loud the neighbors could file a noise complaint? That's not just annoying. That's your airway collapsing, your brain screaming for oxygen, and your body paying the price. Here's the ugly truth. Every night you keep this habit, you're not just snoring. You're training your body to age faster, think slower, and stress harder. So how do you fight back? The fix starts with your tongue. All right, here's the part where mouth breathing graduates from terrifying diagnosis to fixable problem. Because while gadgets and hacks are cool, the root fix is simple. Retrain your tongue. See, your tongue isn't just a lump of muscle for tasting tacos. It's an architectural support beam. When it rests against the roof of your mouth, it widens your palate, keeps your airway open, and prevents your face from collapsing in on itself. But drop it down, and suddenly your airway narrows, your jaw shrinks, and your snore machine fires up. Enter myofunctional therapy, basically gym class for your tongue. You learn to keep it glued to the roof of your mouth, lips sealed, breathing through your nose. Add chewing tougher foods, practicing proper swallowing, even mewing exercises. Yes, mewing. Don't laugh. It's orthodontist-approved tongue posture training. Think of it like strength training. The more you use your tongue right, the stronger and smarter it gets. Some therapists even use tools, little resistance rings to build tongue endurance. Yeah, tongue CrossFit is real. And for kids, early orthodontic work like palate expanders can make a world of difference. Wider jaws, better airways, healthier faces. Translation: stop the problem before it even starts. What about you? Ever caught yourself resting with your mouth open like a confused goldfish? Time to confess, that habit isn't quirky, it's your airway begging for help. Here's the deal. Retraining your tongue fixes the foundation. But what if you want something that works tonight before bed? That's where the hacks come in, and they're weird, cheap, and surprisingly effective. Hack number 1, mouth tape. Yeah, I said it. Tape your mouth shut. Before you panic, no, we're not talking duct tape hostage vibes. Medical tape, micropore strips, or specialized sleep tape. The goal isn't to seal your lips like Fort Knox. It's just a reminder for your face to stay shut. Olympic athletes do it to boost nasal breathing, and studies suggest it improves oxygen efficiency. Weird? Yes. Effective? Absolutely. Hack number 2, nasal dilators. Little silicone stents or sticky strips that widen your nasal passages. Basically, nose training wheels. Add a humidifier if you live in a dry climate, and suddenly, your nose feels like it got a spa upgrade. Hack number 3, humming. Yeah, like singing without lyrics. Turns out humming boosts nitric oxide production by up to 15 times. That means more oxygen delivery, lower blood pressure, and calmer nerves. So if your partner hears you buzzing like a fridge at bedtime, just tell them you're biohacking. Hack number 4, magnesium and vitamin D. Both regulate muscles and nerves, lowering the odds your airway collapses at night. Think of them as bodyguards for your breathing. Now, who's brave enough to tape their mouth tonight? Drop a little sleep if you're game. And no, it won't kill you. In fact, the bigger risk is not trying. Here's the kicker. These hacks work fast, but when you combine them with tongue training and diet, that's when mouth breathing finally taps out for good. But wait, don't exhale yet, because next, we're heading into the big wrap-up, and you'll want to hear this before your brain unsubscribes from oxygen. So let's land this plane before your oxygen-starved brain forgets what we've covered. Mouth breathing isn't just an embarrassing quirk or a meme about snoring like a tractor. It's a full-body downgrade. We've seen the receipts. Your nose is a VIP lounge with filters, humidifiers, and nitric oxide on tap. Your mouth is a back alley loading dock. Mouth breathing warps your face, narrow jaws, recessed chins, tired eyes. Basically, you're DIYing ugly while you sleep. It hijacks your brain and body. ADHD-like symptoms, anxiety, brain fog, high blood pressure, even higher diabetes risk. And yeah, it can make you age faster than a banana left in a car. The fix? You've got options. Train your tongue with myofunctional therapy. Chew tougher foods. Rest it on your palate like it belongs there, because it does. Add hacks, mouth tape, nasal dilators, humming, magnesium, vitamin D. Weird? Yep. Cheap? Absolutely. Effective? More than the overpriced solutions no one explains to you. What about you? Ever woken up sounding like Darth Vader on clearance? Or with a mouth so dry you'd sell your soul for a glass of water? Time to confess it. You've been there. The good news? You don't have to stay there. Here's your mission. Start tonight. One tweak, one hack, one taped up nap, and you're already ahead of the millions who will snore themselves into brain fog tomorrow. Subscribe before your brain unsubscribes from oxygen. And buckle up, because next time, we're diving into why your enamel is eroding, even if you don't touch sugar. Spoiler, you're not gonna like the answer. Final form, we're just getting started.